Every story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
TV Primetime News, I am Ebulomo Adekunle. In a major story, INEC boss Atahiru Jega calls on Nigerians to be patient, says commission is under no pressure. Also in this program, collations of results ongoing all over Nigeria as voting ends. All Progressives Congress governorship candidates in Rivers State, Dakuku, Riverside leads thousands in march against voting irregularities in Port Harcourt. Outside Nigeria, thousands of Singaporeans bid heroes goodbye to founding fathers Lee Kuan Yew. The People's Democratic Party Presidential Campaign Council claims that President Goodluck Jonathan is winning in 23 states. It also says its candidate is leading with 64%, but the Independent National Electoral Commission has dismissed claims made by PDP campaign spokesman. The Independent National Electoral Commission says Nigeria's next president would be known 48 hours after the close of voting in the country. It also warned against premature publication on an announcement of results by unauthorized persons. INEC Chairman Atahiru Jega at a news conference in Abuja says elections would be concluded today in 350 polling units in 9 states and the Federal Capital Territory. As voting continues, some units at Oshodi Solo are yet to perform their civic rights. Oluwaseyi Adegoke has details of this report.
The hope of the electorate at Ward D2, Agbalaya, was dashed on the 28th of March to cast their votes, despite the extension by INEC.
Now, what is the time now?
It is 25 minutes after 2.
Up till this time, you have not seen
law enforcement agencies. Most of them have come around. They promise they will come. They are coming to escort them down to this place, and up to this very minute, we are yet to see any of them.
Unit 055 Salami Street also was not excluded.
The situation is very, very bad. It's very, very bad. You can see the old women and old men here suffering for one person or 2 people. They are hungry. Everybody, even I, you can see me, I'm hungry. I've been here for a long time, even yesterday.
Even some people that have to go to church did not go to church, hoping that they will come today.
Since when they have been voting in this street is #1 that used to take the highest number of the voting.
The situation took another dimension at Unit 056, Ward D2.
We have gone to the INEC office. We reported it at the party level, and they promised they will be here by 1 o'clock. This is 2 hours, we have not seen them. This is after 3. But the people here, we are determined to vote D056. They are not going to church. Our people are going to make statements.
That's the first time that this place, Akioshu, never hold election.
Jubrila Street, there was no election conducted yesterday, and they brought in a result that there was an election conducted. We don't know where they saw that result. So the INEC that conducted the election, they should come and prove to us where they got the result and everything.
Already, all eyes are on INEC office at Abuja for the final results. Oluwaseyi Adegoke, CoreTV News, Lagos.
The rescheduled election in the 5 local governments in Lagos went on as planned, as people who could not vote on Saturday in Shomolu were able to do so. Bronson Uwana, who monitored voting in the area, brought back this report.
The crowd outside Okemeta Primary School, Bajulaye Road, in Shomolu area is protesting what they describe as fraud in the electoral process. A party agent disguised as an INEC official but was later fished out by Nigerian policemen.
By the time we started accreditation and before the vote, we noticed that some people are coming in through the fence and the police people are around.
The issue now is that the former councillor, the immediate past councillor of this ward, is from PDP, and now he wants to gain his entrance inside with his supporters. When at the arrival of the council chairman, Honorable Rekoya, it was bad to move in, despite his position.
An APC stalwart debunked the claim, saying that it is only government from the center that has power to choose INEC official.
Who owns INEC? Who appointed INEC? The REC, that's the most senior INEC personnel in any state, was appointed by the government of the day. I'm talking about the PDP government at the center. And secondly, when you are talking about recruitment of ad hoc staff, it's not limited to any party. Obviously, they will call, all parties will make overtures to INEC by virtue of being residents of that particular locality, and they make them as ad hoc. But for their staff, I'm talking about permanent staff, they brought them from another area, probably from Abuja, we wouldn't know them, but for those ad hoc, they are a combination of all the parties as presented by INEC.
Even though some centers were rowdy, some voters say they are pleased with INEC for extending the elections till Sunday.
We are happy about voting now because yesterday we almost fought here. After waiting, we were here till 7 o'clock, thinking that these people will come back. They didn't come back. But now that they have come back, I'm calling friends who were here yesterday that are in the church now. I told them to come back, let us exercise our right.
Yes, they did not bring the voter list on time. They did not bring it on time. Okay, yeah, that is why, but we are here at 7:30 in the night.
Yesterday we were here before 7 o'clock. We are accredited yesterday, but we couldn't vote. We waited till 6 o'clock. Everybody have to go home. We are happy that today we could be able to come back here to exercise our right.
As we gradually travel down to the end of the presidential and National Assembly polls, it is expected that the wish of the people will count. Bronson Uwana, CoreTV News, Lagos.
We now bring you details of the report where the Independent National Electoral Commission dismissed claims by PDP campaign spokesman Femi Fani-Kayode, saying PDP has won in 23 states. Here is the report.
As we speak now, we are winning in 23 states, and we have 64%, while the APC is winning in 14 states and has 36%. These results are subject to confirmation by the Independent National Electoral Commission. However, we are certain of what we are saying because we have information from our agents in every polling unit nationwide. So we are following these results keenly, and we shall guard them. No one must test our will by attempting to change these results, and the APC should desist from pushing this nation to the brink of fire, chaos, and destruction with their dirty lies and propaganda.
And one of the parties has already said that PDP is winning in 23 states. I don't know the sources of his information. I know that the results have not been collated in 23 states. So maybe you should direct the question to him. Let him explain. And you should be careful about reporting also these kinds of information that are put out there by people who are clearly partisan. I think if you have to report anything, you should rely on the information that is officially given by the Electoral Commission.
Although elections went successfully yesterday in Imo State, there seemed to be some hitch in some polling units and wards. Like in Uguta, elections didn't hold. Also in Oli local government area, where the governor comes from, there were issues between him and soldiers. Our correspondent Ajibade Awufeso has the details. We'll bring you details much later. Aftermath Saturday's election, Lagos Resident Electoral Commissioner Akin Orabi confirms delay in coalition of results in the state due to ongoing voting process in some parts of the state today. In an interview with journalists about 10 p.m. last night, Orabi says security is assured in areas where voting continues today. He, however, did not state the affected areas.
In the area where there be electoral activity, that's at a polling unit. Why do we even present security for? It's not to protect the electoral activity. That's where or where you expect maybe 3, you may now have 5 or more. But they won't debar you from going to church.
Anxiety looms among the various political parties who contested yesterday's 2015 general election as they await the results from the various wards and local government areas in Edo State. Party agents, politicians, and some of the candidates were on ground to monitor the exercise. Results are still being collated from the wards and that of the local government from Edo South. Results are to be declared by the returning officer at the designated centers in Benin City, while the state's Resident Electoral Commissioner Mike Igini is expected to announce presidential results. It is expected that results will be announced as soon as they are fully collated. Security operatives deployed there are expected to maintain law and order. So far, no violence has been recorded. The office of INEC in Ilorin is gradually beaming with activities as some local government collation officers finally arrive. Among results on ground is that of Isi and Okiru local government areas. Collation is expected to start as soon as considerable numbers of local government collation officers arrive with results. It's the CoreTV Primetime News. We'll take a break and return with more reports. Please don't go away.
The army was not supposed to be visible or to be around any polling unit unless there is a breakdown of law and order and they have been invited by the Inspector General of Police.
That elections are sheltered in Africa is no news. But in Nigeria, it comes with consequences.
Against the will of one man.
Consequences that have toggled the nation's politics and may shape how Nigeria elects.
This is the year of PDP.
The momentum gathers.
When we promise, we deliver.
The fireworks is unending.
We did it and continue to do it.
55 years this year, and in her fourth republic, this is Nigeria's 5th general elections. All the action, all the news, the updates, and the news behind the news we will bring to you live from the field and in the studio on CoreTV News as Nigeria elects.
Many thanks for being there with us on CoreTV Primetime News. If you're just joining us, here are the stories that made our headlines. INEC boss Satahiru Jega calls on Nigerians to be patient, says commission is under no pressure. Collations of results ongoing all over Nigeria as voting ends. All Progressives Congress governorship candidate in Rivers State, Dakuku Peter side leads thousands in march against voting irregularities in Port Harcourt. And for more news and other information, you can visit our social media platforms. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/CoreTV News. Our Twitter handle at CoreTV News NG. And on YouTube, youtube.com/CoreTV, leave a space, then news. INEC officials and observers at the Ake Palace, which serves as the collation center for Ogun Center Senatorial District, they await results from 4 more local governments out of the 6 local governments under the Senatorial District.
$17,463. Big figures. Okay. Number of accredited voters 17463. 17463. 22. ACPN 102. AD 38. ADC 36. APA 86. 86. APC 11102. CPP 53. Hope 10. COA 21. NCP 29. PDP 4456. PPM 152.
At the INEC office, the state returning officer Duroni of the University of Lagos awaits results of 13 more local governments. 7 local governments have, however, been announced. The results are for the presidential election. A long stretch of traffic has built up from the Mile 12 bridge all the way to Ikorodu bus stop as soldiers have barricaded the ever-busy road based on what they called an order from above. The Inspector General of Police, Suleiman Abba, has announced that there would be no restriction of movement today over the rescheduled elections. It was learnt that following the hiccups experienced in the voting on Saturday, the Independent National Electoral Commission postponed elections in 5 local government areas in Lagos till Sunday. These are Alimosho, Oshodi, Solo, Etiosa, Koshofe and Shomolu local government areas. However, a resident of Ikorodu, Abiodun Samuel, wondered why the residents of Ikorodu would be barred from moving when Ikorodu local government was not among the areas INEC had listed. Meanwhile, investigations by a correspondent showed that the voter turnout on Sunday may be less than that of Saturday due to the Palm Sunday, which will witness long hours of service and street processions. The police have, however, warned people who have no business at polling units to stay away. The Independent National Electoral Commission in Ekiti State has presented the results for the 2015 presidential and National Assembly elections in the state. The presidential election result was collated at the INEC headquarters, while the results of the senatorial and House of Representatives elections were collated at the local government headquarters of the 3 senatorial districts. CoreTV's correspondent Rashid reports that the People's Democratic Party led the results collated in all the 16 local government areas of the state.
The 2015 presidential election result in Ekiti State was collated at the INEC headquarters in Ado-Ekiti in the presence of political parties, returning officers, local and international observers. During the exercise collation, officers of each local government took their turns to present the results and challenges encountered during the elections. Speaking to newsmen shortly after the presentation of the results, the resident electoral commissioner Sam Olumeku commended all political parties for the cooperation during and after the elections.
You can see that in Ekiti State, the scope, that is the state coalition officer, has just concluded his assignment, and the results have been endorsed by all the political parties, who are contesting in the state. We are transmitting this to Abuja immediately for further action at the national level. We have had a successful outing here, and we give all the praise to the Almighty God.
For the state returning officer of the PDP and APC, they described the exercise as fair and credible.
As the APC is concerned, the exercise has been fair, it has been transparent. We are part of the process from the day of distribution of, even inspection of materials that was brought in by the CBN, to the distribution of materials to all the local government areas and all the wards and polling units. And then the collation of the figures at the state headquarters of INEC. It's been fair, it's been transparent, and we abide by the results. Very much. INEC should be commended. We have not scored them 100% because there are some hiccups. Some of the card readers had problems here and there, but nonetheless, they have performed creditably well, and they should be commended because there's always a room for improvement.
Thank you very much. Election. I think I'm satisfied with the whole process, starting from the elections, bearing the issues that were corrected yesterday during the accreditation exercise. It was peaceful, security was okay, and because we were in the heart of the electorate, they voted them as for us. We recorded our number 16-0.
The chief returning officer for Ekiti State presidential election was Professor Adebiyi Daramola, the Vice Chancellor of the Federal University of Technology, Akure.
Thousands of supporters of Nigeria's main opposition party on Sunday demonstrated in the oil-rich state of Rivers, calling for the cancellation of elections locally because of alleged irregularities. The demonstrators from the All Progressives Congress converged on the local offices of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in the state capital, Port Harcourt. Reacting to the outcome of the elections in the state, the APC governorship candidate Dakuku Peterside alleged that APC supporters were disenfranchised. In the same vein, Walter Olaka, APC youth leader in LMA local government area, said he could not vote in the election that commenced on Saturday.
INEC to fix a new date and to conduct elections, so that fix a new date for the conduct of elections, so that we can exercise our franchise, so that we can vote. We just want to vote.
We want to vote. We want to. I did not vote yesterday. I was not accredited yesterday. I did not accredited yesterday because of the fraud in the election. So how we are talking is that let them come to the pool, let us vote.
The All Progressives Congress Publicity Secretary Lai Mohammed has assured Nigerians that the rescheduled polls will not affect the total outcome of the presidential and parliamentary elections. Speaking exclusively to CoreTV News, he confirmed that INEC will start on a new page.
No, you see, what I think we issued a statement yesterday was that all completed polling units, the results should be collated by yesterday and given to the different party agents so that we know we're taking off from a new new base today. Secondly, and we clarified the position of INEC. What INEC said was that it's only where the card readers are not working that manual register should be a last resort. It's not as if manual register has now become the first choice. So, and I think our people are quite vigilant, and people are very charged. And as early as about 7, 8 this morning, people are already at their polling units where elections are going to continue.
While voting continues in Lagos, Lagosians as well as the world expect results after collation. Some APC stalwarts say the process has been commendable so far. They state that though the process is still on and they cannot reach any conclusion yet, it would be unfair not to respect the electoral body. They also expressed their opinion on the card readers, saying it's just like every other machine and may have failed at some point, but it is no pointer to the fact that it cannot be improved upon. We'll bring you details of that report later. We now take another break and return with sports, business and other stories from outside Nigeria.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digit 360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
And now to business. The equities market traded positive for the week despite heightened political tensions in the week as earnings releases flowed in the market. The Nigeria Stock Exchange All-Share Index gained 4.19% week on week, with volume and value of transactions surging by 81.53% and 100.08% in that order. 51 stocks appreciated in the week, while 21 stocks declined in value. This translated to a market's breadth as all sector indices advanced in the week, led by the banking sector, followed by oil and gas sector, food and beverages, and the insurance. Dangote Flour led the gainers for the week with a 27.59% gain, trailed closely by Champion, Forte Oil, Fidelity Bank and Unilever. On the flip side, UBA Capital paired 21.82% to top the losers chart for the week. Other decliners include UACN, Sterling Bank, Cement Company of Northern Nigeria and CAP PLC. Analysis of the equities market in the coming week showed a perceived level of investor confidence as market operators await the outcome of the presidential election with a stable political atmosphere. The Naira gained against major foreign currencies as demand for foreign currencies dipped significantly in the parallel market. The Nigerian currency exchanged for 220 naira to a dollar, 332 naira to a pound, and 225 naira to a euro against all odds. And now to sports. Manchester City's Yaya Toure says he will decide about his international future with the Ivory Coast this week. Toure captained his country to a first Africa Cup of Nations triumph since 1992 in Equatorial Guinea this year. And the 31-year-old midfielder suggested he may now follow brother Kolo into international retirement. Toure was speaking in Ivory Coast capital Abidjan, where he received the Golden Lion Award for Africa's Best Player for the 4th year running. His Manchester City contract is due to expire in 2017, and he's debating whether now is the time to concentrate on the club scene. Andy Murray beat Colombian Santiago Giraldo's hard-hitting game to claim his 499th career win and reach round 4 at the Miami Open. The Briton, seeded third, won 6-3, 6-4 and will play South Africa's 15th seed Kevin Anderson in the last 16. Second seed Rafael Nadal is in action later on Sunday, along with women's top seed Serena Williams. Murray, 27, lost heavily to Giraldo in Madrid last year, but made amends in Miami, where he lives and trains for much of the year. Another victory would make Murray the 46th man in the Open era to reach 500 match wins. Richie Porte of Australia continued his fine early season win form with victory at the Volta a Catalunya on Sunday. Porte followed up his Paris-Nice win earlier this month by clinching overall victory in Barcelona. Porte, 30, won by 4 seconds from Spain's Alejandro Valverde, who took Sunday's 7th and final stage around a hilly 126.6-kilometer circuit. The decisive moment in the week had come on stage 4 when Porte impressed on the summit finish at La Molina. Meanwhile, double Tour de France champion Alberto Contador of Spain finished 4th overall, while Britain's 2013 Tour winner Chris Froome ended the race 45 minutes of teammate Porte in 71st place. Sebastian Vettel took a sensational maiden victory for Ferrari as he won a straight fight with Lewis Hamilton's Mercedes at the Malaysian Grand Prix. Vettel, who joined Ferrari this year as Fernando Alonso's replacement, won a strategic battle as Mercedes struggled with tires in the tropical heat. Hamilton's teammate Nico Rosberg was third from Ferrari's Kimi Räikkönen, who fought back from an early puncture. Vettel, who started second, took the lead when Mercedes chose to call in Hamilton for a pit stop. The world champion rejoined 14 seconds behind, and although he was slightly faster than the Ferrari, he was unable to close at anything like the required rate, Vettel holding him at a distance of about 10 seconds. We go on yet another break and we'll bring you a story from outside Nigeria. Please stay with us.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emotan of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical. Women being so powerful, yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on CoreTV News.
Thousands of demonstrators have taken to the streets of Tunis for an anti-terrorism march, chanting Tunisia is free from terrorism. They marched to the Badoum Museum, the scene of an attack in which 21 terrorists and a Tunisian died. French President François Hollande and other world leaders attended a ceremony at the museum. As earlier, Tunisian authorities said that they had killed one of the prime suspects in the attack. Speaking at the museum, Tunisian President Beji Said Essebsi paid tribute to his citizens' defiance, as well as French leader, Italian Prime Minister Matteo Renzi, and other foreign dignitaries attended a ceremony at the museum where a stone tablet was dedicated to the memory of the attack victims. Demonstrators waved Tunisian flags and held up slogans of "Not afraid, we are Bordeaux," as they marched surrounded by a heavy security presence. Singapore is bidding farewell to its founding Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew, who died on Monday, aged 91. Despite torrential rain, tens of thousands lined the streets to view the funeral procession carrying Mr. Lee's coffin through the city-state. A state funeral then took place, attended by world leaders, ahead of a private family cremation ceremony. About 1.5 million people paid tribute to Mr. Lee at sites around the country this week, the government said. In his eulogy, Lee's son, the current Prime Minister, Lee Hsien Loong, said his father had lived and breathed Singapore all his life. The funeral procession began on Sunday at 12:30 and 4:30 GMT as Lee Kuan Yew's body was taken from Parliament House on a gun carriage. A 21-gun salute sounded, echoing across the city as the procession moved on into the business district and Tanjong Pagar, the Docklands constituency Lee represented for his whole political life. Military jets flew overhead while two Singaporean Navy vessels conducted a sail past of the Marina Bay barrage, the massive water conservation project spearheaded by Mr. Lee. And that's it for tonight, but before we go, a recap of the major stories. INEC boss Tariu Jega has called on Nigerians to be patient and claimed commission is under no pressure. Collation of results have continued over Nigeria as voting has come to an end. Finally, All Progressives Congress governorship candidate in Rivers State Dakuku Peterside led thousands in march against voting irregularities in Port Harcourt. And that's it for tonight. On behalf of the entire news crew, I am Ebulomo Adekunle, wishing you a pleasant night rest.